Have you ever found yourself lost in translation, struggling to express your thoughts in English as effortlessly as a native speaker? You're not alone. Many language learners face this challenge, often feeling frustrated when their carefully constructed sentences sound awkward or unnatural. But what if there was a way to bridge this gap and truly think in English? Imagine being able to effortlessly navigate conversations, understand subtle cultural nuances, and express yourself with the fluency of a native speaker. It's not just about knowing vocabulary or grammar rules. It's about rewiring your brain to process information in English instinctively. From mastering idiomatic expressions to developing a native-like sentence structure, there are proven strategies that can transform your English skills. In this blog post, we'll explore 7 key techniques that will help you think in English like a native. Whether you're looking to improve your professional communication, ace that English exam, or simply feel more confident in your daily interactions, these tips will set you on the path to English fluency. Let's dive in and unlock the secrets to thinking in English naturally. By familiarizing yourself with these regional variations, you'll not only expand your vocabulary, but also gain a deeper appreciation for the rich tapestry of English language and culture across the globe. As we move forward, remember that mastering idioms and expressions is an ongoing process. The more you expose yourself to authentic English content and practice using these phrases in context, the more natural and native-like your English will become. In the next section, we'll explore how to develop a native-like sentence structure, which will complement your newfound idiomatic prowess and bring you even closer to thinking in English like a native speaker. Develop a native-like sentence structure. Now that we've explored the importance of understanding English idioms and expressions, let's dive into developing a native-like sentence structure. This crucial aspect of thinking in English will help you communicate more fluently and naturally. A. Master English word order. English follows a specific word order that may differ from your native language. The basic structure of an English sentence is subject-verb-object, SVO. For example, subject, the cat. Verb, chased. Object, the mouse. This forms the sentence, the cat chased the mouse. To master English word order, consider these key points. 1. Place adjectives before nouns. The big red house, not the house big red. 2. Use adverbs to modify verbs, usually after the verb, she sang beautifully, not she beautifully sang. 3. Place time expressions at the beginning or end of a sentence. Yesterday I went to the store, or I went to the store yesterday. Practice exercise. Rearrange the following words to form a correct English sentence. Yesterday, the park went to John with his friends. Answer, John went to the park with his friends yesterday. B. Use connecting words effectively. Connecting words, also known as conjunctions and transitional phrases, help create smooth, logical flow between ideas. They make your speech sound more natural and coherent. Here are some common connecting words and their uses. However, I love coffee. However, I try to limit my intake. Therefore, the roads are icy. Therefore, we should drive carefully. In addition, the hotel has a pool. In addition, it offers a gym. Despite the rain, we enjoyed our picnic. Secondly, firstly, preheat the oven. Secondly, prepare the ingredients. Try to incorporate these connecting words into your daily English conversations and writing to sound more native-like. C. Incorporate complex sentence structures. While simple sentences are clear and effective, native English speakers often use more complex structures. Here are some ways to create more sophisticated sentences. 1. Compound sentences. Join two independent clauses with a coordinating conjunction, and but or so yet for nor. Example: I enjoy reading and I often visit the library. 2. Complex sentences. Combine an independent clause with one or more dependent clauses. Example: although it was raining, we decided to go for a walk. 3. Compound complex sentences. Combine two or more independent clauses and one or more dependent clauses. Example: while I was studying, my sister was watching TV, but our parents were working late. 4. Relative clauses. Use who, which, or that to add information about a noun. Example: the book that I'm reading is fascinating. 5. Participle phrases. Use present or past participles to add information concisely. Example: exhausted from the long journey, we collapsed onto our beds. Practice incorporating these structures into your daily English use to sound more native-like. D. Avoid literal translations from your native language. One common mistake when learning to think in English is translating word for word from your native language. This often results in unnatural-sounding sentences or even incorrect meanings. Instead, focus on understanding the concept you want to express and find the most natural way to say it in English. Here are some strategies to avoid literal translations. 1. Learn phrases and expressions as whole units rather than individual words. 2. Pay attention to collocations, words that naturally go together in English. 3. Use English dictionaries to understand words in context. 4th, practice paraphrasing ideas using different words and structures. Example of avoiding literal translation. Spanish: tengo 30 años. Literal translation: I have 30 years. Correct English: I am 30 years old. Remember, the goal is to express ideas naturally in English, not to translate each word from your native language. By mastering English word order, using connecting words effectively, incorporating complex sentence structures, and avoiding literal translations, you'll be well on your way to developing a native-like sentence structure. This will greatly enhance your ability to think in English and express yourself more fluently and naturally. As you continue to practice these techniques, you'll find that your English sentences become more sophisticated and native-like. This improved sentence structure will serve as a solid foundation for expanding your vocabulary strategically, which we'll explore in the next section. Think in English patterns. Now that we've explored how to develop a native-like sentence structure, let's delve into the crucial skill of thinking in English patterns. This ability is fundamental to achieving fluency and naturalness in your English communication. A. Recognize thought patterns of native speakers. Understanding how native English speakers think is essential for improving your language skills. Native speakers often have distinct thought patterns that shape their communication style. By recognizing and adopting these patterns, you can make significant strides in your English proficiency. Common thought patterns of native English speakers. 1. Direct communication. 2. Emphasis on action and results. 3. Time-oriented thinking. 4. Problem-solving approach. 5. Individualistic perspective. Let's explore each of these patterns in more detail. 1. Direct communication. Native English speakers tend to be straightforward in their communication. They often prefer to get to the point quickly rather than beating around the bush. 2. Emphasis on action and results. English thought patterns often focus on what needs to be done and the outcomes of actions. This is reflected in the frequent use of action verbs and goal-oriented language. 3. Time-oriented thinking. Native speakers often structure their thoughts and speech around time. They frequently use tenses to indicate when events occur and are comfortable discussing past, present, and future scenarios. 4th, problem-solving approach. English speakers often frame situations as problems to be solved. This mindset is reflected in their language, with frequent use of phrases like, "How can we?" or "What if we?" 5. Individualistic perspective. Many English-speaking cultures value individualism, which is reflected in language use. Personal pronouns like I and you are used frequently, and there's often an emphasis on personal opinions and experiences. By familiarizing yourself with these patterns, you can start to incorporate them into your own English usage, making your speech sound more natural and native-like. Practice internal monologues in English. One of the most effective ways to think in English patterns is to practice internal monologues. This involves consciously thinking to yourself in English, even when you're not speaking out loud. By doing this regularly, you can train your brain to process information in English more naturally. Here are some strategies to help you practice internal monologues. 1. Narrate your daily activities. As you go about your day, describe your actions to yourself in English. For example, I'm walking to the bus stop now. The weather is quite chilly today. 2. Plan your day in English. When you wake up, think about your schedule and to-do list in English. Today, I need to finish that report for work, then pick up groceries on the way home. 3. React to situations in English. When something happens around you, form your thoughts and reactions in English. That car just ran a red light. That's so dangerous. 5. Solve problems in English. When faced with a challenge, think through potential solutions in English. How can I fit exercise into my busy schedule? Maybe I could wake up 30 minutes earlier and go for a jog. 5. Reflect on your day in English. Before going to bed, review your day in English. Today was productive. I finished that big project at work and had a great conversation with my friend. By consistently practicing these internal monologues, you'll find that thinking in English becomes more natural and automatic over time. C. Engage in English-only activities to further reinforce English thought patterns it's crucial to immerse yourself in activities that require you to use English exclusively. This forces your brain to process information and express ideas solely in English, strengthening your ability to think in the language. Here are some effective English-only activities you can try. 1. Read English books or articles without translation. Challenge yourself to understand the content without reverting to your native language. This helps you grasp English concepts directly. 2. Watch English movies or TV shows without subtitles. This improves your listening skills and helps you understand English in context. 3. Play word games or puzzles in English. Games like crosswords, Scrabble, or word search puzzles can help expand your vocabulary and improve your ability to think in English. 4. Keep an English journal. Write about your thoughts, experiences, and feelings in English. This helps you express complex ideas in the language. 5. Participate in English-speaking clubs or conversation groups. Engaging in discussions with others in English helps you practice thinking on your feet in the language. 6. Use English-only apps or websites. Set your phone or computer language to English and use English-only apps for various tasks. 7. Practice mental math in English. When doing calculations in your head, try to think of the numbers and operations in English. 8. Create English-only zones. Designate certain areas or times of day where you only use English, even if you're alone. By consistently engaging in these activities, you'll find that your ability to think in English patterns improves significantly. Remember, the key is consistency and persistence. The more you practice, the more natural it will become. As you continue to develop your skills in thinking in English patterns, you'll notice a marked improvement in your overall English proficiency. This will set a strong foundation for the next crucial aspect of mastering the language: expanding your vocabulary strategically. By combining these skills, you'll be well on your way to thinking and communicating like a native English speaker. Expand your vocabulary strategically. Now that we've explored how to think in English patterns, let's delve into a crucial aspect of mastering the language: expanding your vocabulary strategically. A rich vocabulary is the backbone of effective communication, allowing you to express yourself with precision and nuance. However, it's not just about learning as many words as possible. It's about approaching vocabulary expansion in a smart, efficient manner. Learn words in context. One of the most effective ways to expand your vocabulary is by learning words in context. This approach helps you understand not just the definition of a word, but also how it's used in real-life situations. Here are some strategies to implement this method. 1. Read extensively. Immerse yourself in a variety of English texts, including books, articles, and blogs. 2. Watch English language media. Pay attention to how words are used in movies, TV shows, and podcasts. 3. Use contextual guessing. When you encounter an unfamiliar word, try to deduce its meaning from the surrounding context before looking it up. Create sentence examples. After learning a new word, practice using it in different sentences to reinforce your understanding. Benefits of learning words in context: improved retention, better understanding of usage, enhanced ability to use words naturally, increased exposure to different writing styles. Focus on high-frequency words and phrases. While it's tempting to learn obscure or impressive-sounding words, focusing on high-frequency words and phrases will yield the most benefit for your everyday communication. These are the words and expressions that native speakers use most often in their daily lives. To focus on high-frequency words and phrases, 1. Use frequency dictionaries or lists. 2. Pay attention to common collocations words that often appear together. 3. Learn phrasal verbs, which are prevalent in everyday English. 4. Study idiomatic expressions that native speakers frequently use. Remember, mastering these high-frequency words and phrases will significantly improve your ability to understand and communicate in English like a native speaker. Understand connotations and nuances. To truly think in English like a native, it's crucial to grasp the connotations and nuances of words. Connotations are the emotional or cultural associations that words carry beyond their literal meanings. Understanding these subtleties will help you choose the most appropriate words for different situations and convey your intended message more accurately. Here are some ways to develop your understanding of connotations and nuances. 1. Study word pairs with similar denotations but different connotations, e.g., slim versus skinny. 2. Analyze how words are used in different contexts and how their meanings can shift. 3. Pay attention to tone and register in various forms of communication. 4. Explore the historical and cultural background of certain words or expressions. Example of connotations: cheap versus inexpensive, O denotation. Both mean low in price. O connotation. Cheap often implies poor quality, while inexpensive is more neutral. Understanding these nuances will help you communicate more precisely and avoid potential misunderstandings or unintended implications. Use synonyms and antonyms effectively. Expanding your vocabulary through synonyms and antonyms is an excellent way to add depth and variety to your English expression. However, it's important to use them effectively, as synonyms are rarely perfect substitutes for one another. Here are some strategies for using synonyms and antonyms effectively. 1. Create word webs. Group related words together to understand their relationships and subtle differences. 2. Practice replacing words in sentences. Take a sentence and try replacing key words with synonyms, noting how the meaning changes. 3. Use a thesaurus judiciously. While thesauruses are helpful, always double-check the usage and connotations of unfamiliar words. 4. Learn antonyms in pairs. Understanding opposites can reinforce your grasp of a word's meaning. Benefits of mastering synonyms and antonyms: more precise communication, improved writing skills, enhanced ability to understand nuanced text, greater flexibility in expressing ideas. By focusing on these 4 key areas: learning words in context, prioritizing high-frequency words and phrases, understanding connotations and nuances, and using synonyms and antonyms effectively, you'll be well on your way to expanding your vocabulary strategically. This approach will not only increase the number of words you know, but also enhance your ability to use them appropriately and naturally, just like a native English speaker. As you continue to build your vocabulary, remember that consistency is key. Set aside time each day to learn and practice new words, and don't be afraid to use them in your everyday conversations. With time and persistence, you'll find yourself thinking and expressing ideas in English with greater ease and fluency.